I said, give me a hell yeah.
Hi everybody, and welcome to a SummerSlam previewing, Matt Riddle debating, TakeOver coverage event for the ages. It's the Brothers of Discussion. We're going to cover everything from WWE's build-up to Summer's Wrestlemania, as we like to call it. The WCW legends calling out Matt Riddle, what? And play a new game called Summerslam Squabbles, where Brother Mike, that's me, is going to try to figure out which Summer feud Brother Matt, that's him over there, has hidden up his sleeve. Matt, another week of wrestling, and we have one of our favorite events of the entire wrestling calendar year. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. And Mike, I think I'd like to mention too, you've in the past said that this is your favorite, or that this is more of like the fan-centric of the major pay-per-views.
Yes,
I was trying to think of, do I want to call it a pay-per-view, or do I just want to call it a major, or like a what's
special event.
Special event. There it is. That's what obviously, because it's as dumbed down as possible, I couldn't think of special event. But yeah, I think over the years we've seen the wins or the victories that we want to see, or some storylines develop that we want to see develop. And I don't know. Did you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we compare
just to build
it
up
to
some excitement.
Yeah, just to kind of build it up as a one-for-one comparison. WrestleMania is usually where WWE tries to bring in the casual fan. A lot of the outcomes are kind of tilted towards encouraging people to stick around and get subscriptions. So it'll be more about kind of rubbing elbows and having a good old time, and bringing in those legends who have no reason to really be on the card. But in addition to that, it's usually a babyface free-for-all at WrestleMania. But SummerSlam, this is where the hardcore WWE fans seem to get their chance to shine. I mean, this is where we got to see the coronation of Daniel Bryan when they kickstarted his whole 2013. It's where same thing with AJ Styles. We got to see him, kind of really get his full build. I think same thing with Dean Ambrose. Becky Lynch. That's when they kind of kickstarted her big peak last year was at SummerSlam.
Yep.
So it's something I think based on recent episodes that we've done together, Matt. Something I think Cody Rhodes would approve of. This pay-per-view is for WWE fans, where WrestleMania is more for casual fans of wrestling. So outside of the Royal Rumble, I think this is easily second. Just because I know that we're in for a treat as far as the match is going.
I totally agree. And if anybody wants to catch any of the treats that the Brothers of Discussion are creating, you go to bodpodcast.com, brothersofdiscussion.com. Also, all weekend, you want to follow us at bodpodcast. That's going to work for Twitter and for Facebook. But you know what? For Facebook, just go over to the Facebook group. That's where all the fun discussions are happening, because we love interacting with you. It's sort of unfair for us to keep shoveling our own opinions down your throat. We want to hear from you. That's where the Facebook discussion group of the Brothers of Discussion, live wrestling discussion with spoilers, comes into play. We have made some good friends already. That it sounds like we're already making Royal Rumble plans coming up this January. So that's where we want to get to know you as a person, and you can get to know us as a person. Super fun. So at BOD Podcast for Twitter, and go to the Brothers of Discussion live wrestling discussion with spoilers Facebook group, of course, found on Facebook. So all of that can be found at BOD Podcast. If you just want the easy links, head over there, and we'll take you to wherever you want to go. Now, Mike, where do we want to go? Do we want to start with NXT TakeOver Toronto? Jump into that, figure out what's going on there, take some picks, or do you want to talk about Matt Riddle?
I think let's do this. We'll start with Riddle, and then we'll kind of get into NXT. We're gonna make a little pit stop at the new game you got for us, and then try to cover what looks like a on paper an A+ SummerSlam card.
Right.
What is happening? What is happening with Matt Riddle? What the hell? Why are all these WCW legends just bringing the thunder on the bro? I don't get it.
Well, it's a couple things are going on here, right? So Goldberg gets wrestling matches, right? And that to Matt Riddle probably feels like a slight. You know, like you aren't at Goldberg's status, even though to Riddle in his mind, like to be at elite status, you should be able to do a knee bar. So I think that this is where it all started from, right? So Riddle's knee bar Twitter rants and all the videos that he was posting online talking about how shitty Goldberg is. But every time you talk about how shitty Goldberg is, you know what you're doing? You're talking about how shitty WCW was, right?
Woo! I guess. I mean, we're kind of taking some leaps. I thought we were just personally attacking one person, not a whole group of guys.
I'm just saying that's how one thing can lead to another. I don't think WCW was shitty. I'm saying the way that these guys are looking at, you know, who's like the biggest name in their business. I mean, you could talk about Hollywood Hulk Hogan, you talk about Sting, but a guy that, you know, came from that huge era of the Monday Night Wars and when Monday Nitro actually meant something, it was Bill Goldberg.
I'm confused. I thought we were all on the same page that Goldberg didn't know how to wrestle.
We should be.
I thought collectively there's a global mind collective. We accept Goldberg as an entertainer. Oh my God, is he entertaining? He's terrifying. He headbutts doors with his own head.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd all come to the conclusion he doesn't know how to wrestle.
We should have. I mean, what we're seeing too is how like fragile these egos are. That any little thing that could be connected kind of sets things aflame, and everybody's ready to, you know, set fire to the other side of the table. Coming with pitchforks, coming with words.
Goldberg's knee bar, it looked like when you go to yoga class and you get like assist on a stretch. Like it didn't look like it would be harming you at all.
I took it more of like...
And we're listening to like a trained mixed martial artist. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
We're not getting a hot take from, you know, Jim Cornette. We're listening to a guy who knows how to break bones. You know what I mean?
Right. But I do, like, when I looked at that knee bar, I don't know if it's, like, assisting on a stretch. That still feels like at some point, if you assist enough,
a stretch would have hurt more than what Goldberg was doing to that knee.
It was more like when I pick up my kitty and she's trying to scramble, so I just hug her a little tighter, you know? Like, so she can't get away. That was that's how I see those. But anyway, I think it's just a lot of people, and whenever you do these feuds, if it's not a work and it's real, like what's going on is everybody's manhood is just being tested here. Right. So it's a lot of people that just feel like, you know, I am a real man's man. So that's where bullying comes from. That's where all this garbage starts. That's why it's more fun when it's pro wrestling, because then it's like we're all hyper aware of how stupid it is to actually be a bully, and we can make a joke out of it.
Well, here's my question, because I swear that we, like, when the match happened with Undertaker, that's kind of where this, you know, got kickstarted again. We all kind of went, wow, that looks bad. Why do you think Jericho and Booker T have a vested interest in defending a non-wrestler?
I still think it comes back to that idea that if you challenge Goldberg, you're challenging, like, what my brand was back in the day. In which, you know, like, all of this touting from Riddle, like, I think maybe, like, the retorts from what Jericho's saying, now Riddle's got to defend himself as, like, a brand of NXT. So it keeps going back and forth. I think that's where, you know, like, if you work for a company long enough, you're going to get some loyalty. Like, you might go out to the bar and make fun of the place. Or, you know, most recently I've been watching the show Scrubs, and they taught me a lesson about, you know, making fun of your own kids, but not making fun of somebody else's kids.
Yeah.
It's that same idea. Like, you made that decision, or you birthed that child. So, it's okay for you to make fun of it, but it's not okay for someone else to make fun of it, because they weren't a part of, when the real effort was being put in place to make something work, putting in, the blood, sweat, and tears. Where I'm coming to like my own feelings on stuff like this. Obviously, I don't care about WCW, but if somebody challenged me, like if I joked around about like an old job I had, and then somebody else is like, you know what, that is just the worst company in the world. First thing I do is go, well, they're actually trying to help people. They were, number one in the country for blah blah blah, and we did all these great things for all these, lesser thans, or lesser privileged. So it's just you turn on this thing to like defend your own decision making, because it all just comes back to hiding our own stupidity or our own failings. So that now I'm getting too like preachy and like therapist-y, but that's where that all comes from. We're all too scared to admit when we failed. So that's whenever something could even slightly be interpreted as like a challenge of our own decision making. I'm you know what, Mike? I'm guilty of it like every day at work when somebody goes, "Oh, why'd you do that?" And immediately I'm like, "What? You don't like it? It's such a great idea. It's making us $100,000 a month. What do you mean? Why did I do it?" And they're like, "No, I just wanted to know why you made that. Like, what did you see so we can do that again?" And then I go, "Oh, all right. Well, here's what I did." But my instinct is to immediately think that someone is challenging my own decision-making process, because if it's wrong, I'm a dum-dum.
Do you work for The Sopranos? What? Jesus, Matt. So, let's kind of reel it in here. Booker T said...
No, it's all... There's people out there that agree with me. When your boss comes out and challenges or questions a decision that you've made... When your boss comes out,
you accept it, because that's their journey. Matt, let's look at what Booker T actually said, because we want to wrap this up, and we got a lot of coverage to do. There's some real stuff. Booker T said, "Hey man, quacky duck duck. Matt Riddle, he just don't know how to wrestle." Matt, is that an accurate statement?
No.
I don't think so either. I think he's an objectively good wrestler. Like, he does submissions. I think his strikes look and sound great. I don't know what else you want, Booker.
Yeah, and we both came in pretty hot by challenging Riddle. Like, we did not just let him slide by, and us just going, everybody likes him in the indie scene. Well, he'll be good. Like, we were pretty critical, more critical than anybody else, I think, that's come through in NXT, and I think we've both turned around. I think we've both become huge Matt Riddle fans based on what our eyeballs
we didn't
saw.
Yeah, we didn't have like precedent where we just liked him going in. Like, he had to win us over, and his gimmick is annoying as fuck. So it had to be the wrestling ability for us.
Yeah.
So I know Booker T's actually gotten paid to be a professional wrestler and wear a belt, but I don't think he should get paid to assess talent, because he's not very good at it. And then Chris Jericho, it sounds like Jericho, his response to Riddle with the impression with the bandana was funny, but it's about the response I'd expect from Jericho. Nothing, beyond the surface level, making fun of his looks. He didn't really find a way for us to be like, you know what, Goldberg is a pretty phenomenal wrestler. You can see he learned a lot from Dean Malenko. No, he didn't learn shit. That's one of our favorite quotes is William Regal, "I cannot hit myself."
Yeah.
And it's still, you can still see moments where Goldberg doesn't quite know what to do, which is why we give him 5-minute matches. So, I don't know. I think Riddle's in the right, and I hope that this helps to elevate Riddle even further. So we actually do see him, fighting the Lesnars of the world, fighting the AJs of the world, because I think he wants to do it, and I think he would do a good job of it.
Well, I'm glad you brought up William Regal, Mike, because he's going to be a huge part of this Saturday. We're going to get into what his decision could be in the 2 out of 3 Falls match with Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. But obviously, let's give him some fake. He's a fake GM for NXT credit for doing the NXT Breakout Tournament Finals. Woo! Just such a genius to come up with this tournament and to put it all together and to do the selection process. I think we've all enjoyed the last few weeks.
I could just
getting
see it.
caught up.
Yeah. One hand just holding his head, the other one, he's just chewing on a pen cap. Oh, what do I do here? What
would Goldberg do?
I cannot hit myself. I cannot wrestle myself. I got all these guys who've never been on television before. I know, I'll put them on television in a tournament.
I like on his pad of paper, on a quarterly basis, when he's setting up a takeover, the first thing says "fight myself," and he's got it scratched off.
Well, first it's underlined 3 times, and then a few days later there's a sad face. No.
So it's actually on every sheet of paper for every quarter. It's already got the marks on it because he scratches it off in the same spot. All right, but let's talk about the tournament. Honestly, Mike, this is going to be a loss, right? Whoever has to go up against the NXT champion, there's no way.
I mean, they're going to go up against... Well, they said they get to pick a belt, so they could just go up against the North American champion.
Oh.
But
yeah,
I wanted
right.
Angel Garza to win, and he was out like 2 rounds ago.
Yeah, we're recording a little bit earlier than we usually do, and he's fighting tonight on NXT as sort of like a consolation prize, I guess. Like you get to be on TV, a fake consolation prize. Obviously, they've made the decision who's winning these matches.
Right.
But
well, I think he's getting a consolation prize match because they figured out, oops, we probably should have had this guy win. Or it might be something where it's like, he's already going to be over, we don't need him to win this tournament. So we'll just give you a reminder that he exists, and then try to give one of these other goofs, a tournament victory.
So I think the best place to go with this is just, I don't really have a horse in this race. I didn't really love either one of the guys, and I didn't hate either one of them. And to be honest, I had to look up their faces before we did this. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go, oh, right. That's who Jordan is. Okay. Like before, if you're reading the match card, it's hard to place these guys that we've seen fight 3 times or twice. Wait, did they only fight 2 times? What? Yeah, it was only twice, right? The bracket? Yeah, so I've seen these guys fight twice over the last couple months. Yeah, of course we're going to forget what they look like. But yeah, I'll just for the sake of having, like, gamifying our prediction process, I will go with Jordan Miles.
I will go with the other one.
He proved so much in his battles, and all right, moving on. Candice,
I think you're right. I think they're going to give it to him. I think that they have fucked up the early stages of almost every single black man's character. So I think they're going to be like, all right. We know we fucked up like literally everyone, like Booker T getting beat up in a grocery store, Junkyard Dog never winning the title, Apollo Crews, Titus. We got it now. We figured it out. Jordan Miles, you're our man. And he's already 31. So he's born in 87 just like me. Good for him.
Oh.
Yeah, that means he's old as fuck. Well, yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. And even with Jordan, again, they're forcing him to be that goofy, just smile all the time character, which, we've talked about it ad nauseum on this show. It's, I just hope they give him this shot. At least if you're going to make him smile all the time like a mindless doof, at least give him a tournament victory. And I think that's what's going to happen on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, let's just hope for the best for Jordan. That hopefully it means they're going to put more effort into his character. But somebody who's gotten a lot of effort put into her character, or at least maybe she's even made the decision, would be Io Shirai. I love the hot black outfit. Damn! Woo!
God damn!
And since apparently she subbed in on SmackDown Live, or wait, no, maybe was that on Raw? Either way, having her Twitter handle being used instead of Asuka's.
Oh God!
Nice little nod to Britt Baker there. When she's not being subbed in accidentally on SmackDown, she's been starting her feud with Candice LeRae, and honestly, Mike, I still am not seeing much from Candice. I'll admit, if you like what you're seeing, I'll go, okay, maybe I'm wrong. But at this point, Io Shirai is not in like that world of time to lose to Candice LeRae.
No, Io's going over.
Yeah.
I kind of like seeing what they're doing in the future with this, because somebody's got to be the standard bearer for that female division, because at some point you'd think they'd call up Shayna Baszler, because that's got money written all over it. We saw how well Ronda did. So, if you're going to call Shayna up, you need somebody to hold the belt and be the woman that the other ones have to vie to, defeat. And I think the reason they made Io a heel is because she's going to do it. So, she's probably the best wrestler. She's not, as strong as the EST of NXT. But she's got the high-flying moves. I think she's got the confidence. She's, a little bit bigger than Kyrie was, and Kyrie was a former NXT women's champion. So I think they're grooming her, and they're giving her a podium here to basically show off what she can do in a heel capacity. So I don't think Candice, she has not earned Candice wrestling. She obviously just gets that because of Johnny. But the one thing I think she does well is bump. So I think she's going to try and get Io over as a real son of a bitch. I think that's what they're trying to set us up for this Saturday.
Yeah, and I could agree with you there. But any other big? I mean, we're both going into this. They're establishing the character. It's Io. She's already awesome.
Just pretend
she's winning. So I'm. That's where my head's at.
NXT's a house. Io is going to be, part of the foundation, and Candice is going to help put that foundation in place. So that's her job.
So moving on to what do you want to do? Let's do this. I'm not downplaying the women's division by getting them out of the way. I think it just makes sense to go into this conversation. But let's talk about Shayna Baszler and Mia Yim. Mike, I honestly was thinking that this is the end for Shayna.
It could be.
That's my official pick.
You think?
I'm going
so
with Mia Yim.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going with Mia Yim because she's someone that some of the fans already relate to, but it would be something too for us. The two of us that have seen her, we haven't been super impressed, but she needs something to make her relevant on the roster. And are we at the point now that Shayna's it's just getting too stale, or are we saving up Shayna for that big loss in some other capacity? I don't know. I think Ronda's back in the social media zeit, and I don't know. Those are my thoughts. What do you think?
Well, she's been doing a good job. They've really done a good job of building her up. Kind of, using some dirty street tactics. That's kind of how the announce team is labeling them. When she's, attacking Shayna's cronies, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, with their backs turned, slamming their heads into lockers, stuff like that. And if you think about it, the other major NXT Women's Champions, I guess I'm mostly thinking of Asuka. They didn't officially lose their belts. They just, got TV injuries, so that they had to relinquish the belt and pass it on. So that could be potentially. I don't think they're going to do a copy paste for the storyline, because it's still only a couple champions ago. But I think they want to protect Shayna's win-loss record, and I don't think Mia has really earned the spot where you get to topple someone who's been one of the most dominant female wrestlers throughout WWE, not just NXT. So, they've planted seeds, Matt. They've planted seeds that Mia could use some underhanded tactics to maybe injure Shayna. But they haven't done enough to give her a clean win. No, not yet.
And honestly, you're kind of pulling me in that direction too. But I'm gonna stick to my guns here. Like when you look at it now, like there's obviously like this notion of just setting up some kind of feud. So that's why you have her look a little dominant behind the scenes, and then Shayna gets that excuse that, well, I wasn't fighting behind the scenes, blah 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 blah. Right. But you're making fantastic points. But I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna go Mia on this one.
Well, that's fair.
Let's do you want to jump into the male matches?
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty tough. Let's do Velveteen Dream defending his North American Championship against Peter Dunne and Roderick Strong. This match, I think Velveteen Dream, he's gonna learn today. He's going up against two of the better knife edge choppers in the business right now. Yep. This is going to be a phalange snapping, chest slapping, violent affair. I hope the Dream is ready for it. He's used to more of, kind of the showboating, which we love him for. I don't think he's ever done something like this. I mean, Aleister Black beat the crap out of him, but I think Roderick and Pete are different animals. Because I've seen what they've done to poor Daniel Bryan. Respectively, his poor hamburger chest I think it was in Saudi Arabia, and Pete, this is his first. He's got to prove himself now. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna win this match. I got to think Roderick Strong's the third horse, but it could really go either way.
Okay. I have a grand plan for this takeover, and I'm going to give it away. I mean, I guess that's kind of...
Is it going to be a teaser for the next episode? Or see, I was right. I wanted to save it till after the results came in, and I knew it would be Velveteen Dream. All right. What are you withholding from us, man? What's the big cliffhanger?
Roddy Strong's taking this, Mike.
Woo!
Roddy Strong is taking it because I think on triple threats there isn't technically a way to disqualify someone, so there's no DQ, so there can be some interference. And Roddy Strong's got a couple of buddies. They're also fighting that night, and I'm going to have an opinion on their championship opportunity.
I think what Matt's getting at is he's going to be buying a brand new yellow draped in gold Undisputed Era t-shirt.
Yeah, that's why I was hesitant, because it was like, all right, if I announce who I'm picking for this, it's going to be pretty obvious where I'm going the rest of the night. But yeah, I think 1,000% Roddy's taking this. And if you want to jump right into the NXT Tag Championship match, I'm gonna give more what?
I think it's fun to read the tea leaves, especially since they just released that Becky Lynch is going to be on the cover of WWE 2K20. First woman ever, by the way, but she's got to share it with Roman, which is kind of shitty. Anyway,
yeah.
In that commercial, Velveteen Dream makes a cameo.
He certainly did. So,
I don't know. I don't know if they're laying the groundwork that we've had trouble with viewership. We're dragging these carcasses of Shawn Michaels and Goldberg back on TV, but what if, to save the show, to make it SmackDown live again, we bring in Velveteen Dream?
I mean, I'm on board for that.
The tea leaves are there, Matt. We know Vince likes the showman. We know that the numbers are plummeting. We know Velveteen is in the video game commercial. Pita, he doesn't really need it. I don't think he's going to eat the pin. I think Dream eats the pin. Matt, I think I'm sold. Roderick Strong.
Yeah,
we're going to be draped in gold.
I'm buying those yellow T-shirts. But so going into the tag championship match, I think we're seeing a lot from the Street Profits every week, right? On our main shows on Raw and SmackDown, they do a wonderful job. That is another team that, Mike, I was very hard on. I had a huge hard on. Now I have a hard on for them. So I was hard on them and their process of delivering a promo. But now, when they deliver a promo, instant hard on. So you see how that works? It's a complicated formula.
It's a Pavlovian reaction. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I just I feel like I need to keep explaining it for people to understand. No, I'm kidding. But I think that the Street Profits are proving themselves worthy of a main roster opportunity. How long have we been watching them in NXT? 2 or 3 years? So it's maybe it's a rite of passage. Maybe it's an opportunity to compete with AEW, to have better tag teams, to have more relevant tag teams, to have tag teams that can actually hold the mic and be funny and be a part of what the WWE brand is, and still have it look like it's, like good TV, good pro wrestling. Two guys that are energetic about what they're talking about. Two guys that are passionate, and they don't look bored. They don't pull an Ember Moon every time they grab the mic. Oops, whoops, there it is. But more importantly, we're still looking for Undisputed Era to be draped in gold, and this is the time to do it. I think Toronto's crowd is going to be hot. I think they're going to be just over the moon. They don't hate the Street Profits, but I think once the ball starts rolling on this Undisputed Era thing for the night, I think it's going to be amazing, and Bobby Fish and Kyle are taking those titles.
I think this is part of the magic of this SummerSlam weekend. And again, like at WrestleMania, it feels like it's written in stone. You know who's going to walk out the champions. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the time it's like the like the end of a story. Like you're closing a book. So we got to finish this story. Boom. Monday we'll open up new storylines. So I think this weekend is so tough to predict, including this match, including the North American one we just talked about. If you're going to drape Undisputed Era in gold, I got to think that means that they're not going to debut at Survivor Series. So that means we're going to keep all these guys on the roster even longer than we thought.
Well, and I do think then, to me it makes sense, because where they've been their strongest, or where they've really shown off, or really been where the Undisputed Era is at War Games. And that's what's next. That's what comes after. So you've got your August TakeOver. We go nothing September and October. November, War Games. Boom. Sign it, seal it, deliver. End of the Undisputed Era at War Games. They will lose at War Games.
Everything.
Yep.
They're going to lose everything in the War Games match.
I think that would be so cool. What if they just did a 2-hour War Games? That would be awesome. Brand new rules because of the titles. They can do something fun. Any hoozles. They'll if they're smart, they'll listen to this and.
Yeah, I think it's just fun that this weekend is for TakeOver is we're gonna get good wrestling, but it's also gonna be really cool to see what is in the future for NXT. Do the Street Profits officially get their call up because they've been featured so prominently on Heyman's version of the show? The Dream. He's the champ, but he's in the commercials now. Are we really just gonna promote NXT talent on a WWE commercial? I don't know. Are we really gonna keep Undisputed Era in NXT for that much longer, where they win titles and then defend them and then eventually give them up? Maybe.
Yeah, and don't go. There's still the possibility they debut the next night at Survivor Series. The way they debuted at NXT is something that can totally work on the main event side. But I just, we definitely got to jump into the main event here.
Yes.
NXT Championship, 2 out of 3 falls. Obviously, I'm taking Roddy Strong. Obviously, I'm taking Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. So obviously, I'm going Johnny Gargano. Main event. I'm just kidding. Adam Cole, baby. He's taking it. I'm wearing my Adam Cole, baby t-shirt right now. Boop, boop, boop. That was. I had to take my dog to the vet, and when they give a dog fluids, like an IV drip for a human, it doesn't seal up. They just let it, spill back out. So I got water all over my shirt on the way home because my dog cuddled because he was scared. So I got home and I said, you know what, we're talking NXT. I'm gonna put on my baby shirt. Any hoozles.
Guess what shirt I have on?
Velveteen
None.
Dream.
None.
No.
I got my
Pervert.
Brothers of Discussion
Oh.
t-shirt.
That's always sitting in the back seat of my car. I think the more interesting conversation for me is going to be fall number 3. But Mike, who are you taking on this 2 out of 3 falls match?
You know what? I'm gonna spoil this weekend for the Brothers of Discussion faithful. You know what fall number 3 is gonna be, Matt? I'm gonna hot tag myself into this one.
Who's ever
Fall
named
number
Johnny?
3. William Regal is gonna enter the match. No, he is going to put Tommaso Ciampa in there.
And make it a triple threat?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That would be really cool. I did see the suggestion online that William Regal is going to come out and suggest a 2 out of 3 falls match for the 3rd fall. I thought that was really funny.
Oh, no.
I forget who said it, and I retweeted them. I can't remember who actually said it, but I thought that would be genius. They just go another 3 falls. It's like when you talk to when you talk to Genie from Aladdin.
Yeah.
That first wish has to be for a million wishes, you know?
Exactly.
Just kind of stretch it out.
Tell me this, though, Matt. Riddle me this. Mine is, I would, there would be ectoplasm all over my living room if Ciampa was fall number 3. Like, we'll have a tie. We have a 1-1. Last fall will take the title. But my stipulation is former champion Tommaso Ciampa. That stadium would erupt.
Yep.
But, Matt, if he enters the match, he's winning. So, you can't use that because you have Undisputed Era being draped in gold. So what do you think, realistically, Sir William Regal is going to do with that fall number 3?
Fuck. Man, that was such a good pick. You should have made me go first, because my pick's going to be dog shit. It can't be a ladder match, because then they're
try
going
to follow that, bitch.
Yeah, they're gonna stop everything, and all right, stop everything. Get a wire up there. No, go up to the rafters. Somebody get a rope. Tie the title up. Get some ladders out here.
Any chain link fence? We're gonna build a Hell in a Cell on the fly. Please give us just a few moments.
That would be funny. Like the fans just aren't surprised there's been a Hell in a Cell above the ring the whole time.
They just start pointing. That's for something else. It's not. Nope, that's not it. Hell
You're
in a
wrong.
Cell. I cannot Hell in Cell myself. We're
guys do a
ignore the man behind the Hell in the Cell. What if it's a shark? What if you look above the ring and there's a shark cage and it's Tommaso Ciampa? We got to start selling these shark cage toys. All right. Get Ciampa up there.
That's what I'll go with. I'll go with the shark cage toy. Somebody has to fight for Ciampa's love. No, there's nothing I could say to live up to that. So I'm just gonna keep saying that whatever goes on here, Adam Cole's taking it. God damn though, like I mean if it has to be Adam Cole taking it, then it has to be something silly like a no DQ or maybe it'll be like Johnny's going to win the street fight. Adam Cole wins the wrestling match because of interference. So William Regal is going to say, something about if there's any interference, then, you're out of here. Adam, you're bad. You're a loser. So something like that'll happen. But then Adam Cole will still prevail, and we'll have our true champion in the middle of the ring. And Undisputed Era will be victorious.
All right. Well, you heard it here. You can skip Saturday because that's what's going to happen. These are a couple of prognosticators over here. Matt, before we dive into the biggest party of the summer, you have a brand spanking new game for us.
Yeah. I thought it would be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Summerslam Squabbles.
Yeah!
Summerslam Squabbles, Mike, is going to be your opportunity to show off how well you can interpret what the words that are coming out of my mouth. What I'm going to do is go through a couple of match previews, and I'm going to give you years to pick from for these SummerSlam matches. And essentially, The previews I'm listing are your clues. So you're going to get a preview of a feud that ended at SummerSlam. And, of course, the year is going to help you try and figure out, who's actually on the WWE roster at the time. And I have a few different ones for you to pick from. And I thought the easiest one might be if we start with 2018. But if you want to go hard and you want to pick a year, I've got a few listed here to start. So if you want to jump into 2018, I'm going to give you that year. And, of course, I have a couple clues. I'll give you one clue. We'll see if you know what's going on. If you don't, I have clue number 2. And then you'll have that opportunity to tell us who you think it is.
All right. Give me 2018.
2018. Mike. So we've got 2 competitors. First competitor set his destructive sights on the WWE Championship, a path that will put him on a collision course with none other than the WWE Champion at SummerSlam. That is clue number 1. That's actually a pretty juicy clue. That should have been clue number 2. I didn't put these in order. All right. So let me know if you want clue number 2.
It was a WWE title match. Okay. What's clue number 2?
Clue number 2. This is really going to help you nail who it is, because we're going to throw a couple names in there of who the champion fought. So fresh off of his recent title defenses against Rusev at Extreme Rules and Shinsuke Nakamura in a savage last man standing match at Money in the Bank, this pro wrestler continues to ride high as one of the greatest superstars the squared circle has to offer. Mike, that's clue number 2. We're talking the 2018. We'll give you some more context here. WWE Championship match. Who was this feud? And including something like that.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. So it was 2018's WWE Champion?
Yes. Do you want to give a guess on the champion first?
I will guess AJ Styles.
Bingo! You got it! Alright. So think about, if I shouldn't be helping you this much, but, think about AJ's feuds, and we just got Rusev and Nakamura out of the way. Also, can you hear me? Because you're kind of breaking up on my phone.
Well, no, I can hear you. I'm trying to whittle it down a little bit here. Damn, did we get AJ? So you said he just finished feuding with Rusev and Nakamura?
Yeah, you got it.
Wow, AJ had a big SummerSlam match against a guy who beat up Rusev and Nakamura. Nakamura.
No.
Oh.
Styles just finished feuding with Rusev and Nakamura. So
Okay.
Who's next on the list for AJ Styles? 2018, just 1 year ago.
Okay.
With this amount of time I've given you, you could have Googled it 6 times.
That's not fun. All right, I know Daniel Bryan was fighting the Miz.
I'm gonna give you.
So that's out.
I'm gonna give you 10 more seconds.
I think Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose were fighting each other.
6.
So AJ Styles was feuding against
2.
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns won the title against Brock Lesnar last year, Mike.
Oh no!
AJ Styles was up against Samoa Joe.
Oh, he went back and forth? Oh, I see. Damn it. Okay.
Wait, what did I just say? Defending the title, or did I say won the title? Either way, yeah, AJ beat Samoa Joe. He never had the title. All right, so that's round 1. Maybe I need to give better clues, because now I realized how hard this is.
Give me another one. Here we go. I'm ready.
So you've got 2013, 2014, 1997, and 2002.
Give me 97.
97. All right. On the July 7th episode of Raw's War in Edmonton, Alberta, this wrestler was announced as the #1 contender for the WWF World Heavyweight title. In an interview with Vince McMahon, the defender, or the #1 contender, said that if he did not win the title at SummerSlam, he would not wrestle again on American soil. That's clue number 1. Mike, are you prepared to answer what the 1997 match for the WWF Championship was?
Is that all the clues?
That's the first clue.
Okay, give me another clue.
The next week, Shawn Michaels, the shit. The nemesis of the number 1 contender requested Vince McMahon to be part of SummerSlam. On the July 21st episode of Raw's War, this wrestler, his brother Owen, and the British Bulldog challenged 3 American wrestlers to a flag match. Michaels was announced as a special referee for the main event at SummerSlam, and in response to the announcement, that wrestler, who's the number 1 contender, attacked Michaels and McMahon. Mike, those are your 2 clues. So you've got pretty hard and fast who the...
I think one of them's Bret Hart, man.
Oh, ding, ding, ding. You got it. All right. Now, come on. Think SummerSlam.
The other one is Owen Hart.
No.
I mean, the Undertaker. I don't know. Is it Stone Cold?
No, you got it right. The Undertaker.
Yeah, remember? That's what I said.
Yeah, that was... Well, that's not what you said first.
I only had to name 6 guys. All right.
Yeah.
Best
you
of
named
6.
2. No, you got it. Bing, bing. Let's do it. Ding, 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 ding. Mike got it right after 2 guesses. No, you remember Undertaker? I tried to pick, like, huge SummerSlam moments. This is when, you know, there was the chair shot, and then Shawn Michaels had to count for Bret Hart. And then that's what started the Undertaker and Shawn Michaels feud.
I don't know. I think because in my heart I wanted it to be the Owen Hart Bret Hart match for the Intercontinental title, and I don't know. I fucked up. God damn it! All right.
Do you want another one?
I don't know. I'm gonna be exposed here as a wrestling fan. All right, give me 2013.
Well, yeah, we're not gonna play the SummerSlam game next week. All right, 2013.
Big year for wrestling.
And what has already been one of the better face versus face feuds in recent years, these 2 wrestlers have been effective in generating interest for this year's SummerSlam. The match should be excellent, but there are plenty of moving parts that could make it even better. Not only will the special guest referee be... Jesus Christ, this is so hard to read. So I'm reading the match previews, and I'm trying to take out names to make it harder.
Was the guest referee Triple H?
Yes.
Thank God I got one. All right, Daniel Bryan and Cena. Fuck.
Yes, got one. Woo!
All right,
maybe I should have done that one first.
What's the last one? Was it
2014?
Oh my God, I don't know who fought. All right, let me see. Who we got?
You ready?
I guess.
After an 8-year absence from the WWE, this wrestler made his long-awaited comeback to the company the night after WrestleMania 28. The man that he attacked... the man that he attacked clashed again and again that month's Extreme Rules event with his opponent at SummerSlam emerging victorious. Fast forward 2 years later, and the stakes are much higher. That's clue number 1.
Is it Lesnar and Cena?
It is! You got 2 in a row!
I'm back. All right.
Well, I
don't have to burn all my wrestling shirts. Thank God.
You said you had one more left, but there was another one from 2002. If you want to touch on that one, or do you want to go out on a high?
No,
you got 2.5 in a row.
I can go 3 and 2 instead of 50-50. Here we go.
All right, 2002, Mike.
All right.
Another feud heading into SummerSlam was between these 2 wrestlers. At Vengeance, the first wrestler, we'll call him, returned after being out of wrestling for 4 years. His opponent was given the choice of deciding between which brand he would appear on, Raw or SmackDown. The first wrestler helped him decide by offering to reform their old faction on the Raw brand. I guess I'll stop. I didn't break these up into 2 clues, so that's clue number 1. You could probably do it with what I've said. Also, I haven't repeated anything I've said, and you don't get to read it, so let me know if I need to repeat anything.
First time in 4 years, huh?
Yep.
Was this for a title?
No.
Okay, what's clue number 2? Or I guess clue number 3, because you just told me another one.
The second wrestler chose to go to Raw, but the following night, as the two were looking to connect again in their faction, the second wrestler attacked the first, nailing him with his signature move.
Which is?
I'm not telling you. It actually does say.
First time in 4 years. Was it Triple H and Shawn Michaels?
You got it! Yeah!
Woo! I'm back!
The unsanctioned match! Nice!
Yes. All right.
And folks, if you're at home screaming, just know that the pressure is not on you. So this is hard to do when all I'm doing is talking clues at you. You gotta figure, alright, so yeah, you went 3 for 2. And I'll say, like, that Undertaker one, you were right there. I think you were too stuck on Owen Hart because I mentioned his name.
I thought it would be Owen. I made too big a mud pie on Owen. I'm sorry. All right.
All right. Well, now that we've kind of reminded everybody of some hot moments from SummerSlam past, you want to start tackling the match card for this year?
SummerSlam future. Yeah.
Yay.
Matt, this is maybe one of the most interesting cards I can remember. Even the poo-poo matches I think I want to watch. Even the match that got canceled, seemingly, from SummerSlam. Aleister Black versus Sami Zayn, which they gave away for free on SmackDown this week. That would have been a good match. I don't know when I'm going to go pee-pee. I think I'm just going to have to pee my pants on Sunday.
That's probably what I'm going to have to do, so...
All right, let's open up with one. I know that it's going to be near and dear to your heart, Matt. Dolph Ziggler is going up against Mr. Kneebar himself, Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
What are the odds that this match goes longer than 30 seconds?
I'm gonna answer that, Mike, by bringing up BOD Podcast at BOD Podcast. Mike, I asked everybody for their hot takes, their hot ass take for SummerSlam. Of course, it's hot ass because it's summer. I also asked on Facebook and nobody cooperated. Just real quick, we have at Elm Street fans said Charlotte loses big in I think he meant in the women's main event, and we also had Devil Toad 34 say Roman's storyline is the best on TV right now, wrapping around sort of a non-SummerSlam match. Maybe it'll be formed while we're there. But anyway, Mike, my hot take, because it's SummerSlam, and I brought up at the beginning of the show, your opinion on SummerSlam is that they usually give the more, like, the hardcore wrestling fan what they want.
That's
and
very
I think
true.
they proved, and they've even mentioned it on TV, how much we hate Goldberg not going away. Mike, my hot-ass take is that Dolph Ziggler is going to reignite his career on Sunday night and take down Goldberg.
Somebody's drinking some pink Kool-Aid over there.
Woo!
Oh, Bubba.
So we got to make this conversation interesting somehow. So, Goldberg's going to win 15 seconds, and then he'll never come back. That'll be fun.
I guess... What they've done recently in pay-per-views is they've sprinkled in some traditional 20-minute matches, and then they've done a few squashes. It's like they looked at this card and said, well, there isn't really a great squash opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's have Ziggler lay down for Goldberg.
Yeah, I mean, the other argument, too, is that they don't want Goldberg's legacy to be that Undertaker match, like the last thing we see. So this could be just that opportunity where they go, all right, who's the guy that'll flop for anybody? Ziggler? All right, get up there.
Yeah, what a
Take
weird
it, kid.
spot for Dolph to be in. We got this 50-year-old...
You see his Twitter account. I think he's totally fine with making the money to do this.
I guess. I mean, he's got a comedy tour he's got a fund or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't give a shit. He'll lose to Goldberg. I guess, Matt, what's the dream scenario for you in this match?
Dolph Ziggler winning? Did I not?
I'm going to go with Matt Riddle runs out and beats up both of them.
Oh, yeah, that'd be pretty tits.
And then Booker T comes out for the save, and Riddle puts him in a real armbar and breaks his arm. Matt, moving on to the has-been list, Charlotte Flair in a non-title match. We're going to have 3 one-on-one ladies matches here at SummerSlam. She's going to fight Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
I don't. Do we need this match? I don't know.
No, it kind of feels like Charlotte is playing Dolph Ziggler here. She is great at her job. Obviously, I think I've made it pretty clear. I love Becky Lynch way more, and I've been saying that since not even this past Money in the Bank, but a year ago Money in the Bank. Anyway, I still know that Charlotte is amazing at her job. So her job here is to make Trish look, I don't know, credible as, she could be in the ring. It's okay. She's not going to break a hip or anything. That's her job.
I don't know who this is for. It's not like we were all screaming to see Trish Stratus again, and we have the WWE Network, so we don't have to do stuff like that. But
yeah, somebody's got to email us or send us a DM on Twitter. Please tell me if you wanted to see Trish Stratus fight. What's the motivation behind that? Because she's not the same. We have other people on the roster that have been fighting for a long time and are probably even better than Trish was in her prime. And I have no qualms about saying that. I think that's pretty obvious looking at this roster. So what is it about seeing Trish 10 years, 15 years after her prime that does it for you?
Yeah, I don't understand. This past, was it Monday? We had the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And it's like, oh shit, I forgot some of those women are even on the roster because we barely have, the ability to make time for them. So I don't think we necessarily needed to have another, legend out there. I don't know. We have people who are currently employed who could use that TV time, and I don't know. I wish they could find a way to just, get some feuds over for the the actual full-time wrestlers instead of having to dedicate another segment to another Hall of Famer like Goldberg.
Yeah. Want to do a quick pick on 3?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Trish.
Charlotte Flair.
Wow. Really?
You're picking Trish?
Yeah.
Why? You psychopath? I thought we were both gonna...
psycho. I don't know. Why'd they bring her over if she's just gonna lose?
Because they're worried that people aren't gonna watch SummerSlam. She's not doing anything. Come on, Charlotte all the way.
What? No,
yeah.
This is Trish.
Well, I did 3-second picks, so we're done now. You're crazy pants McGee. All right, next match on the list. And I'm gonna warn you right now, Mike. If you're looking at our list, the match after the one we're talking about right now is not the match we're gonna talk about next, because that I think we should save for last or near the end, because I'm so excited for that match. Anyhoozles, AJ Styles defending the United States Championship to Ricochet. Mike, it is not the time for AJ to lose that U.S. Championship. It is not the time for the original club to lose any belts. Mike, this club has to be built up. I think we were so far removed from a relevant faction, and we just spent our entire NXT segment of me spewing all of my Undisputed Era love. Those factions do some real good for the bottom dollar and for some interesting TV. So, Mike, hands down for me, AJ Styles is taking this one over poor little Ricochet.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that he's got to be the little sacrificial lamb here to help get the OC over, because we know it damn sure wasn't going to be the goddamn D-Generation X, because they desperately need to get over. So yeah, sorry Ricochet, it's gonna happen, bud. I don't know.
Aww. I'm gonna picture you just rubbing his head when you said that. I mean, yeah, if we're both going AJ Styles on this, we don't have too much to dissect, but obviously the main game here is to keep building up the original club, and I do really like those t-shirts, so I might be walking around soon with a yellow t-shirt on Mondays and then an OC Club or an OC shirt on Tuesdays, and then just have to run down to the washing machine, clean the suckers up.
Yeah,
again Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
let me
Saturday,
ask you this then.
naked on Sunday.
What the hell are we gonna do with Ricochet here?
Mike,
so he's gonna lose. He's already lost to AJ. That's why AJ has that belt. So
Mike, he's a young 38-year-old man. How old is Ricochet? I always feel like I always get fooled when we have guys in NXT and then they're actually 1,000 years old.
I guess what I'm getting at is, does this feud extend beyond SummerSlam?
Okay, he's 30. No, I think we're gonna have to start building something bigger for the OC. And I'm sorry, Ricochet is great. We both love Ricochet to death. But that's not where. Yeah, that's not where it ends for AJ and the club. So I something bigger has to happen. Some main event storyline. Something where they can do another main event storyline that's not wrapped around the WWE or the Universal title. I think that is definitely got to be number one on the priority list for the WWE, their creative team, and whatever we want to pretend Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are doing as employees. But yeah, that's where my head's at.
Well, it sounds like, based on the silly old dirt sheets that float around, that Heyman likes Ricochet. So I thought that meant that he was gonna get some sort of push, but I don't think it's gonna come at AJ's expense, especially if we're starting to sell these OC T-shirts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's way too early to start seeing that already fall off a cliff. But yeah, that's where I'm at.
Man, it's just God, I don't know. It just bums me out because I was thinking about the next T-shirt I want to buy, and it's going to be Heavy Machinery. And ever since they had that, showing in the SmackDown Tag Team Title match, they've been off the map.
Yeah, which it happens. You just gotta hope that it comes back. But obviously they're not. They're not here to make us, just you and I, happy. So
I know.
If nobody else likes them, it's tough. So you're taking AJ too. So let's move on to good old KO. What else are we gonna say? Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon going at it. Mike, I'm gonna give you the play-by-play on how this is gonna go down. And I'm gonna be a happy camper after SummerSlam. I think our big worry a few months ago is that Shane McMahon was going to be fighting Kofi Kingston for the championship. That didn't happen, so yay for us. And Kevin Owens is becoming the new Stone Cold. So I think what's going to happen here is KO is going to pretend there's just no way he can get over the best in the world. Best in the world is going to get cocky, Mike. He's going to get cocky, and he's going to say, you know what, Kevin? You wanted me to put my career on the line? I'm going to do it because I'm better than you. That's when KO wakes up. He was playing possum the whole time. Beats Shane McMahon. Boom, we never see him again. Except for, GM and stuff. And that'll be the end. That'll be a great cap to the old Best in the World storyline because I don't need to see him fight The Miz. I don't need to see him fight anybody past Kevin Owens. I don't need to see him fight again because he's not a pro wrestler. He's not that great. He can't do punches. And there's a billion guys on this roster. So
does this match end clean, or is it going to end with violence? Because in some capacity, are we getting Elias interfering, or?
Oh, most definitely. I think they're all going to attack Kevin Owens before the match even starts, and that's where the cockiness is going to come from Shane McMahon. But mark my words, that is how that match is going down.
I hope that this is just a vehicle to get Shane off of TV. If SummerSlam is really going to live up to the way I build it up, that it's for the full-time fans who are a couple years into their WWE subscriptions and have what, I'm canceling, and then there they are next month just like me. If they're really going to help me feel good about my monthly $9.99, please get Shane off of TV. Nobody's gonna miss him. We're good.
Yeah.
We got enough effing guys to handle the show. We'll be fine. So I hope, please, Kevin, win. Matt, I don't know about the like what opportunity would it be for Shane to like put his career on the line too? What would that take? Is that going to happen?
Well, that's what I'm saying is going to happen. Kevin asked for it on SmackDown, and Shane just kind of went, "Why would I do that? Stupid." So I kind of feel like Shane's just going to hit that point where he's like, "You know what? Fuck you. I'm going to beat you. Of course, I'm putting my career on the line."
Oh, like
it gets into his head that he is the best in the world. It's actually a fun way to play that, where he is the mastermind behind his own demise, kind of thing.
I'm just excited if that happens, like to go a pay-per-view without having to talk about Shane McMahon.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Yeah. So moving on to Bayley and Ember Moon. Bayley champ, defending that SmackDown Women's Championship. Mike, that's your girl, Ember.
I know, they just haven't built her up, and I'm bummed. Like I'm not even excited for this match because they haven't booked her to a point where it feels like she's gonna win. You know what I mean?
I'm taking Ember Moon on this one. Whoa. No doubt in my mind.
Whoa!
No, I'm kidding. I'm
Okay.
taking Bayley. This was another one where it's like the writers went, well, we'll give her a match, but like it's enough that Ember was in this conversation, and then maybe we can talk about something later. I don't know. I don't know where you go from here with the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I'm so confused as to who's on which brand, to be completely honest with you, so it's hard to talk about. But, I mean, you've still got Carmella out there that is probably ready to do some wrestling again. So, and I really like Carmella, too. I think her being a face helping out R-Truth, it's been cute, but she's got such a bite to her promos that I think they're missing that right now, especially watching Bayley and Ember Moon just go with a promo-less feud so that neither one of them has to look like a doofus.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. They're not really giving them great material because we know for a fact how overproduced these shows are, and so they're kind of left out there to dry, both of them.
Yeah.
And not only has Ember been losing matches recently, she lost to Natty. Last week she lost to Alexa. In addition to that, when she was getting beat up by Natty, the only person to come and rescue her was Bayley. So, even if Ember wins, it's kind of, collectively, I think the people in attendance are going to kind of have a, huh? Like, you haven't made her look like a champion. You just kind of made it, like the rotating chairs. Like, oh, now it's your turn to, be at the pay-per-view. I just can't believe like how many great matches she had against Shayna and how she gets treated now. It's such a 180 booking wise. It's nuts. And this does not look like a spot where she's going to turn it around unless I'm not creative enough to have a one night magical run for Ember Moon. They have destroyed her almost to the point where she could never win. Like a lot of lost credibility there, so it bums me out. This is the match. I take it back. This is probably the match I can go to the bathroom to.
Aww.
And it's just because of the way they booked my poor Ember. I love Ember. I probably would have bought a shirt.
Well, remember too, they're heading into the fall, so there's got to be some thinking going ahead that you could have Charlotte now beating Trish in my head, and that's what's happening in my game here. And then she's back in that title conversation with Bayley right away. So that seems to be something that could last through December into the Royal Rumble. Some kind of feud like that. So that's where my head goes. I don't know if you want Ember holding the title when it really turns into this game of like, all right, shit, now AEW's on TV and we've got one of our champions can't hold the microphone for more than a minute.
You know what? Because let's do this. Like the next match is what I want to talk about is Becky versus Natalya for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah.
And I think this is a real nothing match also, because I don't see any chance in hell of Natalya defeating Becky.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'd go as far as to book Becky all the way to WrestleMania. And I think Ronda Rousey's winning the Royal Rumble.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yep.
I wouldn't complain about that.
Because that's how you have Becky Lynch. That's when we're like, okay, she can lose the title. She held it for a year. Like, you know?
Well, I mean, like, SummerSlam, as far as it kind of catering to, like fans like us, fans, who put podcasts together or even listen to podcasts like this, I think you could have really, I would have had a more vested interest if you just swapped the number one contenders. Like, Becky versus Ember, I would have loved to see Becky get Ember over, because Becky is one of the better talkers in the women's division. So I think she could have really held Ember's hand through that whole engagement. And then additionally, to see, like, Natty with her upbringing in the, the Heart Dungeon versus, Bayley, who's like the prodigy of NXT. They really pat themselves on the back for building her up. I think that would have been a more interesting feud for me, to see those two go at it. Kind of the person, Natty, kind of leaning on lineage, nepotism, and then Bayley kind of being the plucky, one of a kind, wrestling unicorn, because she's not able to lean on that. She's kind of a, from the ground up. That's all Bayley's hard work. So that would have been a feud I could sell and buy into. But I think the way they did it now, it just looks like the four horsewomen are gonna, come out on top. The Bayley and Becky are. It doesn't feel like those two outcomes are really in question.
Yeah, and another thing we got to look out for too is whenever Ronda and her buddies get called up, and then we're gonna get the four horsewomen going up against each other. So there's probably a good deal of work that needs to be done to build up both sides. To make sure they look strong. And I think if we look back, Mike, and look at the products that the WWE would say they built compared to products that come into their I guess come back into their programming. So you'd pretty much look at Ronda and Shayna and what's going on in NXT versus the four horsewomen of the WWE. They should go over. So they're going to just keep building them up as the superstars to the UFC challengers. Just going back to like that idea of DX taking down the OC. But yeah, I agree with you. Short story here. Becky Lynch is going over Natty and submission match. I don't know. I guess that just means Natalya gets to do the one move she makes look okay. So there's that. All right, I feel good about that.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? What stinks too is they've booked it in such a way where we've had Sasha Banks not on TV for a while. Like, her return wouldn't even feel good, because that would mean she's interfering in the Bayley match, and that's the only way Ember wins. Just another way to knock Ember down a peg. Like, she can't win without interference. So
I don't know. I'd be okay with that. That's not so bad for Ember. The bad thing for Ember is when she's on TV. So every time she's on TV, she does. Oh, well, I should say when she's delivering promos. That's what hurts Ember Moon. And I think a lot of these ladies are comparable in regards to skill set. I just don't see the point in forcing an Ember Moon when there are some ladies who are a little bit better on the mic and throw a little bit more passion when they're on there. That's my thing. And if Sasha comes back and we can have a champion in Ember and have another legitimate feud outside of that, hey, all gravy's there. Plus, I think the way that you mentioned it too, it would be a heel Sasha. So I think all the Sasha slappies would be thrilled with that. That sounds like a win-win-win-win-win. But moving on, Mike, who's winning Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton?
I gotta think it's gonna be Kofi. I think for this match, it's the real victory is that I'm interested in a Randy Orton feud.
Yeah.
I don't
first
think
time in forever.
Yeah, we haven't had that
For
in,
the first time in...
I don't know.
Keep talking.
Definitely since we've been doing this show. I think we felt good about him. Man, you're
Sorry,
really loud.
too distracting.
Yeah, it was really loud. No, I lost my train of thought.
Randy Orton has been such a turd sandwich for us, and we've got Chris M, who loves himself some Randy Orton, who's on our Facebook group. So Chris, if you're listening, it's for you, dog. Randy's pretty boring. He has not come out with a lot of bite to his promos, but for this, I feel like he was so on board with this Kofi winning the championship that now, even though I think this is Kofi going over Randy, so there's my pick. I think Randy is so on board with the storyline that he came into it with man, I'm gonna fucking nail this. I feel like he's been so far out of a situation that he was motivated to be Randy Orton for how long? Even including that Bray Wyatt feud for the championship at WrestleMania. Even that stuff wasn't enough to light the fire underneath him. But this is where it's at for Randy. A couple of guys that have been wrestling together forever. And now he gets to kind of just build up Kofi one more time. I think the only argument for Kofi to lose to Randy would be to pump, going back to Matthew McConaughey and Wolf of Wall Street, but Randy's got to pump up those numbers to make the next feud with John Cena a little bit juicier if they want to throw a title in there. But that's not happening. Kofi's winning.
Yeah,
Did I give you enough time to come back to your thought?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
I'll never come back. I don't think that we're ever going to see... God damn you, Matt. Shut the fuck up. I think maybe that's what I was going to touch on. Even when he was with Bray, I think there were little hints that we were well, maybe I could get on board with this, And then they had that goofy match where they were, shooting cartoon worms onto the, digitally projecting worms onto the ring mat.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm pumped for this one because, we talked about it the past couple of weeks where it seems like Randy is visibly excited to be a part of it.
Yeah.
I just don't think that this is going to be a spot where Randy wins, and that's good. He's just there, I hope, at this point to help get over Kofi, who he's had victories. Ideally, I would like to see him have a longer feud so that he has remember Kofi had that great feud against so and not just a one-off pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
Which is what it feels like he's had, kind of so far. We haven't had anything elongated. So this is the first time in
forever
that I've ever said this, and probably will ever say again. I want to see Randy Orton feud for the WWE Championship for a little while. I want to see him and Kofi do battle.
Wow.
It brings me pleasure.
Mike, you're probably giving something Chris M to pleasure himself to. So I won't go that far. This does feel like a one-off to me. I feel like Kofi's doing a tour around the WWE roster to kind of hey, I've been doing this forever. Who else wants a WWE Championship match? That's behind-the-scenes conversation. But that's what it kind of feels like to me. So I'm going to stick with Kofi, and I'm going to say that's it for Randy. But you make a great point. If it was Randy, I wouldn't mind that at all. So, Universal Championship match, Mike. Brock Lesnar against Seth Rollins, who's doing quite a bit of damage to his online persona. As much as we wanted him to win at the Royal Rumble, man, he's at some point. I'm cool with him being cocky, but he's just getting kind of whiny now, and kind of just want him to STFU at some point so we can get back on the Seth Rollins train. Because right now, Mike, I don't know if Seth holding the title, when we wanted Roman to win last year, that was best, just to stick with the brand, that was best for business. I don't know if Seth winning at SummerSlam is best for business at this point. I feel like we've got to just have Brock hold on to it and give Roman another shot.
Yeah, I don't know. think it's another instance where they've kind of messed up the booking a little bit, and I should not be sick of seeing Seth Rollins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think part of it too is the inevitability of him losing to Lesnar. I don't think Lesnar is going to be the one to play hot potato with the belt. So it's almost like you just want this feud to, like be at its completion. You don't want to have to sit there to, watch, Brock, be the poster boy on the WWE Network for another 6 months. So I wish we hadn't even gotten to this point. I know Brock had to win a Money in the Bank match that he wasn't even a part of, and then cash in. It just, I don't know. This I know we're gonna get a good fight because Rollins is really good at selling, and I think Brock has an affinity for Seth Rollins, so he's gonna make Seth look good even when he wins. But I noticed what you're doing, Matt. You're saving the match we're most excited about for last, and so this is not it. It's gonna be violent. It's gonna be fun. I think there's gonna be some instances where you're like, oh my god, maybe Seth's actually gonna win. Probably not gonna happen. But I'm gonna be there. They give Brock his credit, Matt. He knows how to put in that little sneaking bit of doubt. Like when he was fighting Daniel Bryan, when he was fighting AJ Styles, and when he was fighting Finn Balor. Segue. Yeah, I think it's the match. If you've been watching WWE, this is what you're excited to see. Is finally the return of Bray Wyatt to the ring.
God, I can't wait till they make a Funko Pop. I'm gonna be all over that.
Man, I got a hot take question for you. This is gonna be all about the entrance. This is gonna be all about the entrance, right? We want to see what kind of.
If the demon comes out.
Ooh.
Is that what you're saying? No, doesn't sound like that.
Well, I wasn't even necessarily saying that. It's just, how long is a Fiend match supposed to run? Is this supposed to be a squash where we see regular Finn Balor out there get, destroyed? Or, do we get a competitive 20-minute match?
Well, I'm gonna say to answer your question, and everybody's favorite way to do it is by asking another question. I mean, I think the more important thing is, are you okay with that, with it being a squash? And my answer to that is yeah. And that's why it absolutely can't be the demon, but it 100% can be a squash. I think we're trying to build it up like what was one of the more fun movies of the past few years, not of course the sequel, but Split. And seeing like what a man can turn into when he's convinced that he is a stronger being, So we always have this issue where we recreate a character and we're like, oh, that's just Luke Gallows again. That's not. That's Festus. If Festus wasn't any good, why is Luke Gallows going to be any good? But this is now this psychological aspect to it where we're taking it a whole nother step where he's not Bray Wyatt anymore. He's transformed into a completely different person. And for this new persona to mean anything, it's got to be a squash. So this is where you were looking for a squash like the Goldberg and Ziggler match. I 1000% think this has to be a squash on Finn, not on the Demon. Maybe you can do the Demon later, but on Finn Balor, squash. He's going on vacation. We all know it. It's been in the rumor mill or whatever for weeks or months, whatever you want to, however long it's been in there. So send him off on his merry little way. He can come back and challenge Bray later.
It feels like it could write itself. Finn comes out first. The Fiend just kind of comes out from under the ring or something, destroys Finn in a few minutes, and then we're all just sitting there stunned. Is that what we're gonna get, and is that enough for you?
Oh, that is absolutely what I want, and I would be making a mess in my living room if that did happen. If anything but that happens, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have a twisted tummy. I feel like if I have to watch the Fiend struggle to win, that just doesn't even seem to fit his mysterious character. Like
Right.
even when Demon Balor comes out, it's kind of like he's invincible. You know, like I think the Fiend has to be at that point. So if he's not fighting Demon Balor, which he absolutely should not, that's my official opinion on that.
No, he can't.
He
can't.
can't
He needs
like
to-
get
he
too
needs to
physical
destroy.
in a match. Yeah, this just needs to be a couple moves.
So how do you feel about this? Because it doesn't feel... I don't think that this is going to be a one-off match, that this feud's going to extend for a little while. If Bray Wyatt just squashes him, does that mean that what we're going to get is Finn Balor eventually in the demon makeup? And if so...
Somewhere
how-
down the line.
Yeah, how would you book that? I mean, because you don't want either of those personas to lose.
Well, I mean, that's a WrestleMania, match. That's something where you don't need a championship in there. Well, I don't know. There's so many different ways to dissect it, but I think it just depends on where everybody's trending, kind of thing. If Bray's blowing up as the Fiend, I don't know how you play with that, or how you mess with that formula. I just... we talked about Ember Moon. Bray Wyatt's done the work to make sure that what his storyline is, his promos are, that it is the most interesting thing on television right now, or for pro wrestling. So we know he's also formidable. He can do enough in the ring when he's not injured, which seems to happen a lot. But when all that work's being put in, and we're all behind it, I think you just got to reward the guy. And eventually, if Demon Balor wants to come up and challenge him, and Bray's still nailing it, I'm sorry, Demon Balor goes down.
Man.
Like, what's more important at that point? I think it's hard to answer right now because we don't know what. If the Fiend is lost, he's gone into a feud with Brock Lesnar and he got destroyed. And then we just go, well, look how long he lasted, though. Good old Fiend. He lasted 5 seconds longer than Finn Balor, and then that's how they challenge each other. I don't know. Something dumb like... So if that happens, then the Demon Balor should win. But I'm hoping it's not, so my instinct is Fiend all the way.
Yeah, at least at this show, Fiend all the way. And then... Oh, man. Are you making drinks over there?
Yeah, I'm just finishing one up.
Yeah, and then further down the road, it's just fun to think of the possibilities. I would like to see Brock's face if he had to ever fight Bray Wyatt like that, but we're not going to get that tonight or on Sunday. We're going to get just a little tease. So, Matt, I guess last question about that match: where would you book it on the card? Like in terms of
where would I book it? It'd be the main event, last match, bingo.
Where's WWE gonna book it?
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. Well, let's see here. I think it could be pretty close to the end because I think they want people to tune in.
Yeah.
That's gonna be something we all want to see. That's definitely something I can imagine after a Becky Lynch Natalya match. But before Kofi or before Brock Lesnar, like something. It's going to be short, so we're not going to be exhausted from it. At least the way I'm predicting it. It's going to be short. So it's not something where if you book it and now it's like, oh, we just went 50 minutes cheering for that. Now we got to watch, this other match for 50 minutes. Nope. I think we're looking at a short Becky Lynch match and a short Fiend match leading into, Lesnar and Seth.
I think that's one question, because I know we're wrapping up here. One question we didn't answer, and it's because they've done such a good job recently. They've opened shows with Lesnar, so it kind of removes that opportunity for you to kind of be bummed out because Brock gets to squash somebody else.
Yeah.
So what's gonna if you had to take a guess, based on how WWE's treated their big pay-per-views recently, what is going to pull the curtain?
Well, I mean, we've been programmed to think one thing for such a long time. I can imagine, couple years ago, it could have been AJ Styles and Ricochet. Well, maybe they get, I don't know, didn't we get Shane McMahon to start a pay-per-view a little while back? We got that out of the way, so maybe it's, Kevin Owens and Shane. I don't know. It's so tough to say, and all these matches are so great, or at least they can be, so it's hard to say this one should pull the curtain, or doesn't deserve like main event status, except for Shane McMahon. Like, that match just shouldn't exist, so I'll stick with that answer and just say let's get that out of the way.
All right, you heard it here first.
What are you thinking?
I have no opinion on the matter.
Oh my God!
I just wanted to hear what you had to say, Matt.
What's pulling the curtain? I don't know. Me neither. Yeah, all right, we're all at the same spot.
I think all the wrestlers will come out and shake hands.
Oh wow!
And a show of unity. First match. I would like to see Brock and Seth. I like getting that out of the way. It's probably gonna be AJ and Ricochet. No, I take that back. It's gonna be Goldberg and Ziggler because Goldberg's probably gotta go.
If it's the Fiend, do you watch the rest of the show?
Man,
what if he's under the ring?
You're not supposed to ask really hard questions.
What if he's under the ring and they don't want him there, all night, so they just get that out of the way? What if it's in the pre-show?
What if he doesn't want to be there all night?
And he just
Did you think of that? Yeah. I'm gonna say Dolph opens the show. I think that'll kind of get people out of their seats a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. And
so it'll be a short match, but there'll be some pomp and circumstance that we got to get through, and Dolph kind of dancing around and making fun of Goldberg before he gets squashed into oblivion.
Yep. Well, so, with that, I think what we've definitely will agree on here is that this is going to be a hell of a weekend, because there aren't a lot of matches here that we could really look at, including TakeOver. We're just like, I don't really care. There's a couple of them, not a lot. So we're going to have 2 straight days of some amazing wrestling. So I'm going to ask everybody again to go to @BOD Podcast on Twitter and find our live wrestling discussion group on Facebook. It's hosted by the Brothers of Discussion, so it'll be easy to find. But head over there for all of our conversations. We love interacting with everybody. We do our best to make you all giggle throughout, Raw and SmackDown, so it's even more fun during SummerSlam and through NXT TakeOver. So join us. We're going to be having fun. We want you to have fun too. Mike, anything you want to throw out to the Brothers of Discussion faithful before we sign off? Right off into the sunset?
I think just a thank you, because again, we've been really impressed with the interactions on Facebook. We're having a lot of fun on Twitter.
It's really blown up.
Yeah, and we're just excited to do more, and excited to again be there live with us this weekend, and then we'll be shooting a new episode next Wednesday. Do all the follow up, see the fallout on Monday and Tuesday. So just be there for more fun content. This is a great weekend, man. I love it.
Love it. All right, thanks everybody.
We're coming.